All right, let's talk about the 410 shotgun. For years, it's been living in the shadow of its big brother, the 12 gauge. But here's the thing. Being lightweight, low recoil, and surprisingly versatile gives it a special place in the gun safe. The question I always get is, does it really have enough power? The answer is yes. For many situations, from hunting and sport shooting to home defense, the 410 absolutely packs enough punch, and it's a whole lot easier to handle for new shooters or folks with smaller frames. Today we're going to dive deep and look at some of the best and most interesting 410 shotguns on the market right now. We'll cover everything from simple utility guns to some truly wild modern designs. Let's get into it. First up, we're starting with the classics, the single-shot utility guns. If there's an original, no-frills 410, it's the compact, break-action, single-barrel shotgun. And Rossi has brought that concept right into the 21st century with their Tuffy 410. The first thing you'll notice when you pick this up is how incredibly light it is, tipping the scales at just 2 pounds, 14.5 ounces. They manage this by making smart use of polymer everywhere, including the receiver. For a survival or truck gun, this is a huge plus. And check this out. You can twist out the front sling swivel, pop off the forend, and the whole gun breaks down for super compact storage. But here's my favorite feature. You know how so many polymer stocks are hollow? It always feels like a waste of space. Well, Rossi actually did something with it. The Tuffy's thumbhole stock has shell holders molded right into both sides, giving you onboard storage for 8 rounds of 2.5 or 3-inch shells. That is just plain smart. Coming in black, gray, OD green, or tan, the Tuffy has a suggested price of just $187. For a handy, lightweight utility gun, that's tough to beat. Now, staying with Rossi, let's look at the Tuffy's handgun cousin, the Rossi Brawler. Rossi used to make single-shot pistols based on their long guns, and for 2023, they brought the concept back with a serious facelift. This is their revived 45 Colt/410 pistol, and they've packed it with modern features. It's got a slab-sided 9-inch rifled barrel and a hand-filling, recoil-absorbing rubber grip they borrowed from the Taurus Raging Hunter series. But the best part is the optics rail. Not only is it ready for a red dot, but Rossi actually grooved the rail and added a serrated rear sight that pairs with a front blade sight. That means this gun is ready to shoot right out of the box. No extra parts needed. An all-steel version of this pistol I handled years ago weighed a hefty 5 pounds. Thanks to modern design, the Brawler comes in at just 2 pounds 4.7 ounces. It's way more pleasant to carry in the field, and frankly, it's just a hoot to shoot. With an MSRP of $258, it's another affordable and fun option. All right, from the simple, rugged break action, let's step into something a little more unconventional. What happens when you cross a shotgun with a revolver? You get something like the Solenarms SR410. The idea of a revolver shotgun might seem a little out there, but this thing is actually pretty brilliant. To make it more comfortable to shoot while keeping it compact, they've introduced a new version with a slightly longer stock, adding 1.25 inches for a standard 13.25-inch length of pull. The barrel is also a bit longer at 12.2 inches for some extra range. Even with those changes, it still weighs only 4.5 pounds and is just 24 inches long. That's small enough to toss in a pack or carry in its optional leather belt holster. You reload it just like a modern revolver. Unlock the 5-shot cylinder and swing it out to the left. You can fire it double action with a long trigger pull, or you can cock the hammer for a crisp single-action shot. And if you think 410 is a little weak, consider this. A standard 410 slug carries nearly double the muzzle energy of a .357 Magnum. This little gun is no joke.
Now, you can't talk about revolver shotguns without mentioning the one that started it all, the Taurus Judge. Ah, the Judge. A gun that started more arguments online than just about any other since it launched back in 2006. Well, for 2023, Taurus gave it a new twist with the Judge Home Defender. This model is clearly meant to compete with non-NFA firearms like the Mossberg Shockwave. It's fitted with a long 13-inch barrel, cylinder gap shields to protect your hands, and a factory-installed optics rail. The big question is, does that long rifled barrel help with shot patterns? The answer is, not really. Birdshot and buckshot still spin and open up quickly, limiting your useful patterns to about 5 to 10 yards. However, where this gun shines is with .45 Colt.
I've tested older 6.5-inch judges in the past, and getting 3 to 3.5-inch groups at 15 yards was typical. The Home Defender, paired with a red dot, it punched out a 1.06-inch group at that same distance. That is a massive improvement. It means this judge has a much longer effective range with .45 Colt, making it a genuinely versatile home defense tool. With an MSRP of $730, it's a specialized firearm, but it finally feels like the judge has found its purpose.
Okay, revolver shotguns are cool, but now let's get back to a truly American classic, the lever action.
Henry Repeating Arms has always been a good friend to the 410 fan, and their X-Model 410 is one of the most versatile options out there. While many 410s are built for one specific job, the X-Model is a refreshingly flexible platform. It's built around a tough carbon steel 4570 receiver, making it one of the most durable 410s you can buy. Henry wisely kept the key rifle feature. The top of the receiver is drilled and tapped for Picatinny or Weaver-style scope rails. This means you can mount a micro red dot for home defense, or put on a magnified optic and use slugs to turn it into a dedicated slug gun. Or just use the bright fiber optic front sight for blasting clays with birdshot. The 19.8-inch smoothbore barrel is chambered for 2.5-inch shells only and uses interchangeable Invector-type choke tubes. The biggest departure for Henry is the furniture. Instead of their beautiful walnut, the X models get black polymer stocks. They weigh less, they're weather-resistant, and let's be honest, far fewer bitter tears are shed when polymer gets a scratch compared to a gorgeous piece of wood. The forend also has M-lock slots and a Picatinny rail for lights or lasers. It holds 6 rounds, but all that steel construction brings the weight to 7 pounds 8 ounces. Whether that extra heft is a pro or a con really depends on what you need it for. It's a top-notch, do-it-all 410.
And then there's the Henry Axe. Come on, you know you want one. You might not know why you want one, but you do. This thing is pure, unadulterated fun. It's a fun-to-shoot toy, much like its .44 Magnum big boy cousins. But we all have a soft spot for these guns that look like they belong in a scabbard on your thigh in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. And at close range, this would be a great zombie gun. When you run through the 5 rounds in the magazine, you can top it off through the side gate, a classic Henry feature. This is definitely more for conflict resolution than deer hunting. You'd look pretty ridiculous in the woods with this. It's a butter-smooth lever action, but without a real stock. That distinctive axe handle grip gives it its name and has a totally different feel from something like a Mossberg bird's head grip. For home defense, it's intuitive and moves easily around corners. If you've already decided a 410 lever action is for you, then absolutely, this is a gun to consider.
All right, we've seen classic designs and fun range toys, but what about a purely modern, tactical take on the 410? For that, we turn to Kel-Tec and the KSG410. This pump action is one of the more unusual 410s out there, and it was developed specifically because customers asked for a softer shooting version of the famous 12-gauge KSG. The main attraction here is capacity. Just like the larger versions, it has dual magazine tubes. This lets you load it up with a whopping 14+1 rounds of 2.5-inch shells or 10+1 of the 3-inch shells. This also means you can select a load. For example, you could fill one tube with birdshot for pest control, then flip the 3-position selector lever, and now you're feeding from the other tube, which you loaded with potent 3-inch buckshot or slugs. It's a brilliant feature. Thanks to its bullpup design, it has an 18.5-inch barrel, but is only 26.1 inches long overall. And with all the polymer, it's just 5 pounds 1 ounce. Now, Kel-Tec did opt for a fixed cylinder bore choke, which basically means no choke. This definitely puts it in the utility gun category. With lead birdshot, we saw patterns of 10 to 12 inches at 7 yards. Buckshot, however, patterned just under 2 inches at that same distance, making it very effective up close. It ships with a fiber optic front sight in a polymer carry handle, but you can swap that for a Picatinny rail to mount a red dot. With a starting price of $495, it's a high-capacity, futuristic option for defensive use. So there you have it. From simple single shots and classic lever actions to modern tactical bullpups, the 410 world has a ton of incredible options. Whether you need a reliable hunting companion, a fun gun for the range, or a lightweight and capable home defense tool, there's definitely a 410 out there for you. Now I want to hear from you.
Which one of these was your favorite? Do you already own a 410, or are you thinking about finally picking one up? Drop a comment down below and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this breakdown and found it helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button, subscribe to Weapon Survival Gear, and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our next firearm review. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and we'll see you on the next one.